For the last 17 seasons on the Woodsmith Shop, we've used the same workbench. It's a great big maple top that's served us really well, but we wanted to try a different kind of bench for this season. So what we're building is something that we're calling the Just Right workbench. It's not too long, but it's built solid and sturdy for years of use. We have a solid wood beech top, and then the base is made from cherry and cherry plywood. And one big addition are the 3 drawers that you see down in front here, providing some much needed storage. We have some pretty cool vices that we're gonna add to the bench as well, an inset vise on one end, and we're gonna refurbish a vintage vise for the face vise on the other side. If you're ready to build along with us, the plans for the Just Right workbench are at our website, woodsmithshop.com. But I think right now, it's time to build. The base of our workbench consists of 4 really stout legs joined with rails and aprons to create a framework. Inside that, we're going to put a box with drawers. I'm getting started here with the legs. We're gluing up 2 thick pieces of cherry in order to make each leg, squared them up, cut them all to the same length. The focus now is on the joinery, and that's what I want to talk about here. At the front of the workbench, we need to create a nice opening for the drawers. On the sides and on the back, we're going to have the rails and aprons like I talked about, but then also some plywood panels that will enclose that space. For mortises this large, I'm going to use a Forstner bit here in the drill press. And the process that I'm going to use is to kind of drill not quite overlapping holes here all the way down. And then there's going to be some ridges of waste in between those. I'll come back, plunge down and remove a lot of that waste, and then probably make a 3rd pass just to clean up the mortise as much as I can. Here's what you're looking for after you're done at the drill press. The walls of the mortise should be pretty smooth. You might see just a little bit of some nibs there or lines from where the drill press went down into the mortise, but we're going to leave that alone. What we want to do now is to square up the ends of it to receive the tendons that we'll make on the rails and the stretchers. To do that, I'm going to line up a chisel that matches the width of the mortise, in this case 3/4 of an inch, right on that layout line, and hold it vertical. Then I'm going to hit it with a mallet a few times, and then I'll lever the chisel forward to pop out the waste and then continue on in that fashion, working my way down to the bottom. The mortises are only one part of the joinery that you'll need to take care of on the legs. The other part is connecting some of those mortises with a long groove for the plywood panels we talked about earlier. I'm doing that here at the router table, have a straight bit set up, and with the fence set to its proper location, it's kind of programmed in, and I can just bring each leg in and route it. Now it's a stopped groove running from mortise to mortise. That makes it much easier to route because I can lower the workpiece at the mortise over the bit. Then I'll just route until I hear the bit stop cutting. When it reaches the other mortise, then I can lift it off and move on to the next piece. Just make sure that you're routing based on your layout lines so that you're routing the groove in the correct pieces. We'll leave aside the legs for a little bit and focus on the next stage of the joinery, and that's to take care of the grooves that are in the rails on the side assemblies of our workbench, as well as the 2 stretchers that'll make up the back assembly. Now, something to note about these is that these grooves aren't centered. They're offset to one side. So I have a dado blade set up here in the table saw with that offset measurement being that distance between the blade and the rip fence. So you want to make sure that you keep the inside face of all of your parts up against the rip fence as you make these cuts.